Understanding the Sri Yantra symbol is a complex task, but it is also deeply rewarding. It brings profound spiritual insights and awakenings. In this video, I am only focusing on the three-dimensional Sri Yantra that I derived from its two-dimensional Sri Chakra. I have a design patent for my original mathematical work on the design aspects of Sri Yantra in three-dimensional pyramidal structure. I call it a three-dimensional energy structure and named it as Sri Chakra space frame. Overall understanding of the Sri Yantra symbol is about the divine feminine energy. This energy in Sanskrit is Shakti. It is visualized as one Adipara Shakti, meaning beyond all energies or all-inclusive energy of the cosmos or the Bindu of the very beginning. In Hindu culture of Bharat, the Devi is called a mother. She is revered and worshipped as a feminine power that comes first, second, and last. The feminine power can be present in a woman or a man or in a third gender. We call it a feminine power only if the qualities of an actual mother exist in them. What are these motherly qualities? These are Chetana, meaning all-pervading liveliness, Buddhi, meaning wisdom, Smruti, meaning memory, Dhruti, means determination, Shakti, means energy and power, Shanti, meaning restful peace, Shraddha, meaning absolute faith, Kanti, meaning shining being, Tushti, meaning fulfillment, Daya, meaning empathy, Matru, meaning motherly, Jati, meaning all-inclusive, Kshanti, meaning forgiveness, Vidya, meaning ultimate knowledge, Bhakti, meaning devotion, Lakshmi, meaning prosperity, Trishna, meaning aspirations, Kshuddha, the one fulfilling hunger, Nidra, meaning restful sleep. Anyone possessing these qualities or giver of these qualities is worthy of worship. In Hindu culture, the Devis or the feminine deities are always depicted in their motherly smiling face that assures a child or a devotee or a sadhak about her loving and nourishing nature. On the other hand, she is also depicted with many different types of weapons that assures the devotees that they are supremely protected. And very importantly, the sadhak or upasak or devotee or her child is also taught to be responsible for themselves. So, in Hindu culture, it is believed that Yatra naryastu pujyante ramante tatra devata. Where women are worshipped, the gods reside there. However, women have to make themselves worship worthy. I repeat, women have to make themselves worship worthy. The word yantra is very ancient. It is 8,000 to 12,000 years in use in ancient Hindu literature. Even though yantra is loosely translated as an instrument in English, it is far deep in its meaning. The meaning can be only grasped metaphysically. I have divided this video into three parts. The first part addresses the religious nature of the spiritual symbol, the Sri Yantra, and here you actually see the deities within Sri Yantra. The second part is about spiritual meaning of Sri Yantra. And the third part that rationally discusses the intriguing mathematics of two-dimensional to three-dimensional Sri Yantra. Now I want you to give some food for thought. We, the common people, in our thoughts, visualize things in three dimensions. For example, if you and I are asked to visualize a house, we visualize it in three dimensions. Why do you think the Sri Yantra is not visualized in three dimensions? My explanation about this comes in the last part of this video. In my opinion, the exalted, elevated souls like our rishis have certainly seen it in higher than three dimensions, like fourth dimension or fifth dimension or higher dimensions. However, to practically preserve it, it is illustrated as Sri Chakra in two dimensions. Please comment on this thought after watching the entire video. I will now go ahead with the first part of the video, religious significance of Sri Yantra. Let us discuss this interesting part of religious worshipping of the all-pervasive feminine power. In the culture that represents Bharat or India, the mother goddess is considered beyond all deities. She is called Adi Shakti, that is the beginner of the cosmos. She is also called Parashakti, the energy of all energies, also called beautiful inside out, Ma Lalita Maha Tripura Sundari. We will now reconstruct the Sri Yantra in its three-dimensional and pyramids form from its well-known and highly revered two-dimensional Sri Chakra. I am using the two-dimensional Sri Chakra that I mathematically constructed with an excellent accuracy level. Let's go. Starting with the Bindu, the ninth Avarana, the Anandamaya Chakra or Anandamaya Yantra. Here, the Sri Yantra Swamini, Ma Mahatripura Sundari, resides. She is the Parashakti, meaning beyond all. She is the creator of all Maya, the world or the cosmos that we live in. She is an absolute mother. She is then surrounded by other goddesses. Each goddess is her form for a specific purpose in general. The Bindu remains a Bindu in the three-dimensional form of Sri Yantra. Next is the eighth Avarana. In two dimensions, it is a triangle. In three dimensions, it becomes a pyramid. I have further divided it into 5 pyramids for a reason. The Bindu is surrounded by 15 Anga Devis called Nitya Devis, and they are Kameshwari, Bhagmalini, Nityaklina, Bhairunda, Vahanivasini, Mahavajreshwari, Shivaduti, Twarita, Kulasundari, Nitya, Neelapataka, Vijaya, Sarvamangala, Jwala Malini, and Chitra. And the 16th Mahanitya is Sri Lalita Maha Tripura Sundari. So these 5 pyramids in three-dimensional pyramidal form of Sri Yantra of the 8th Avarana represent 15 Nitya Devis. Coming to the next Avarana, the 7th Avarana, in 2 dimensions it is a set of 8 triangles. In 3 dimensions they are represented by 14 pyramids. The pyramids are symbolically portrayed as energy diagrams. They are used by shamanic healers all over the world. For the ease of visualizations, I am showing how these pyramids in the pyramidal form of Sri Yantra are occupied by individual Shakti Rupas, the energies of goddesses. You can see the spherical movement of the Sri Yantra filling up with the increasing potencies of goddesses. The Sri Yantra starts looking so real with the feel of the devatas residing in the pyramids, the deities being inside. The next Avarana is 6th Avarana. As we are creating the cosmos or our world from the Adi Shakti, the Parashakti, the Bindu, Ma Lalita Tripura Sundari. The sixth avarana has 10 triangles in 2 dimensions and they become 18 pyramids in 3 dimensions. The energy, the power further increases. The pyramids are occupied by forms of Adi Shakti. I personally feel energized by these visualizations. It is more comforting and real to visualize the yantra in 3-dimensional space and adding a movement to it to represent time as an additional dimension. The time in Sanskrit is called Kal. It is a continuous dimension. We humans cannot go back in time. Time only moves forward. Coming to the next avarana, the fifth one. This again has 10 triangles in 2 dimensions and 18 pyramids in 3 dimensions. You can see the perfect structural representation from 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions. Don't you think it's perfect? The pyramids are appearing fully charged with the respective deities' energies. It does not matter which pyramid is occupied by which devata. They are not bound by humanly competitions and comparisons. We worship them with extreme respect and reverence. The next avarana is the fourth avarana. This has 14 triangles in 2 dimensions and 26 pyramids in 3 dimensions. The deities are entering in the pyramids and continuously energizing the Sri Yantra. The ninth, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th and 4th avaranas make that beautifully standing central part the central potential structure. In 3-dimensional pyramid form, they have 81 independent pyramids. I want you to appreciate the fierce independence of all the deities and their very dignified interdependence upon one another. Their togetherness in the 3-dimensional pyramidal Sri Yantra holds the 3-dimensional structure accurately and strongly. Every pyramid is independent of the other pyramids, yet they are together representing Adi Shakti. I feel this is so true. We independently worship the Devatas and we know our prayers are heard by the Adi Shakti. It is such an auspicious governance of the cosmos in exact unison. Coming back to the basic structure of the 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional form. Could you ever imagine that this structure of 9 pyramids going through each other will actually have beautifully standing 81 pyramids within them? I personally found it tough to locate the inside pyramids. I spent days thinking about it. It is only after my prayers and my surrendering my ego to the deity by asking for her help, I received the guidance. The 3-dimensional pyramidal structure is not my work, but the idea and the guidance given to me by Ma Lalita Tripura Sundari herself. I just became her instrument of representing what I received. I am forever grateful to Ma. I bow in total surrender to her. Now these are my further thoughts. There are 9 matrikas in the center, as if they are holding the hands of other devatas around them. The 9 central pyramids are square-based pyramids. Let us call them matrikas. The names of the matrikas are Shri Brahmi, Shri Maheshwari, Shri Kumari, Shri Vaishnavi, Shri Varahi, Shri Indrani, Shri Chamunda, Shri Mahalakshmi and Shri Mahatripura Sundari. Ma Mahatripura Sundari is also one of the matrikas. Each of these matrikas have 8 yoginis. These 8 yoginis are either their children or family. Together, they are 9 matrikas plus 72 yoginis. making them 81. All matrikas are also yoginis. They occupy 81 pyramids in the three-dimensional Sri Yantra form. All yoginis are believed to have siddhis. I personally tend to believe that there are 81 yoginis instead of 64 yoginis. 64 yoginis is a well-known number. I, however, found it impossible to associate 64 yoginis in two-dimensional or three-dimensional structure. I felt comforted to know that there is 81 yogini temple in Bheda Ghat in Madhya Pradesh. In Bharat, there are only 4 temples dedicated to the yoginis. 3 of them contain 64 yoginis, but the one in Bheda Ghat contains 81 yoginis. Is it a mere coincidence? I feel someone must have thought of three-dimensional Sri Yantra to very categorically include 81 yoginis. It sounds logical to me. I do not intend to hurt the existing religious belief about 64 yoginis. I am just expressing my thoughts here. As we further go outside of this central 81 pyramid structure, we encounter a ring of 8 lotuses. The third avarana is represented by 8 lotus petals. I think they are lotuses or lotus flowers. In 3 dimensions, the lotuses occupy a spherical shell. As the triangles become pyramids, the circle becomes the spheres in 3 dimensions. So this sphere accommodates about 26 lotus flowers. I am choosing to take the cross section, otherwise the lotuses will mask the inner pyramids. Next layer is 16 lotus petals in 2 dimensions. This is the second avarana. It means 16 lotus flowers. They become 82 lotus flowers in 3 dimensions. This is what is geometrically possible on the surface area of the sphere. Again, I am taking the cross section, otherwise they mask the inner avaranas. Together the third and second avaranas make 108 lotus flowers. Lotus flowers are associated with Devi Lakshmi. There are 108 Lakshmi Swarupas. That means 108 goddess Lakshmi forms. Each lotus contains one Lakshmi form. The 108 Lakshmi names are Avyayayai, Achyutayai, Anshubhalinne, Aparnayai, Amrutavahayai, Anumatye, Adityavarnayai, Arunavatye, Kashtagamyayai, Kalankarahitayai, Kalavatye, Kamadhenye, Gambhirayai, Garudasanaye, Jagatpriyayai, Dhanyeshwarye, Ghoradurgati Nashinne, Daityadanavamardinne, Khagavahanayai, Jagatpriyayai, Daridrya Dukkhashamanye, Trigunayai, Trilokya Sundarai, Trailokya Hohyai, Dayamatye, Dharmakamartha Mokshadayai, Dhanadayai, Dhanalakshminayai, Pavanayai, Pranadayai, Padmayai, Prakrutay, Paramanandarupinne, Pavanye, Pratyaksha Lakshme, Padammala Vibhushitayai, Brahmandavasinne, Bhaktavatsalaayai, Bhayanashanayai, Nityashuddhayai, Niramayayai, Nirajayai, Nityapushtaayai, Brahmavanditayai, Dhanurlakshmayai, Pushtikariyai, Mahavibhavabhushanayai, Madhavapriyayai, Matrukayai, Vireshwarayai, Brahmasahitayai, Madhumatye, Mulaprakrute, Bhanumatye, Sarvastra Sudharine, Surasundayai, Charuhasine, Himashailendra Sankayai, Gajendra Vahanayai, Sarvangayonye, Sampradhaneshwe, Vishnu Vakshasthalagataye, Vastudevataye, Manibhushayai, रसना प्राणदायित्ये तेजो लक्ष्मे सुखोदयाये सौम्यरूपाये स्वार्थसाधनकर्ये सम्पूर्णमण्डलायै शङ्खभद्रासनस्थितायै सिद्धसेवितायै हिरण्यगर्भायै सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये सत्यसङ्कल्पायै शुभाकारायै सुरेन्द्रनिमितायै सुदुर्लभायै शुभमङ्गलायै व्योममध्यस्थायै वसुमत्ये विजयायै वागेश्वर्यै विश्वरूपायै व्योमवारिण्ये विष्णुवल्लभायै विन्ध्यवासिन्ये सर्वमङ्गलायै सर्वकामप्रदायै सुवर्णकमलासनायै सुखसौभाग्यसिद्धिदायै सर्वाभिलाषपूर्णेच्छायै शुद्धायै सर्वव्यापिन्ये सनातनयै स्वरूपायै स्वर्गायै शाश्वतै सुप्रतिष्ठायै सर्वभूतमहेश्वरयै सम्पूर्णा सुरासुरवधप्रदायै यशस्कर्यै योगं मायायै योगेश्वरप्रियायै सर्वतोभद्रायै सौम्यायै श्रीशुक्लाम्बर नमः. I find it more logical to think that the second and the third avarnas are Lakshmis, as they grant you the fulfillment of your mental and physical desires. The second avarana is Sarva Paripuraka Yantra and the third one is Sarva Sanshobhana Yantra. Next is the first avarana, that is Bhupura. This is like the outer casing of the instrument. In this case, it is Yantra's casing, the Bhupura. Bhupura has 3 strong layers. These layers in 3 dimensions have 6 gates, 4 gates as east, west, north and south, and the 2 gates are top and bottom. The 4 gates further have directions like northeast, southeast, northwest and southwest. The Bhupura and the gates are heavily guarded by Devatas and direction deities. These are the protectors of the Devis and Yoginis. Here ends my expression for the religious significance of 3-dimensional Sri Yantra. I extend my apologies to the sadhakas if I have overstepped their faith and beliefs. However, I would like to have your comments on this. Please write in the comment section. The religious significance of Sri Yantra is to adore and honor feminine power. However, it is not just the female power. It is predominantly associated with certain qualities that represent nourishing and protecting. These qualities can be present in a man or a woman. In Sanskrit, these qualities are Shakti, meaning divine energy and divine power, Matru, meaning motherly, Chetan, meaning liveliness, Kanti, meaning the shining presence, Jati, meaning accommodation, Daya, meaning grace, Shanti, means abundant peacefulness, Kshanti, meaning forgiveness, Buddhi, meaning wisdom, Vidya, meaning knowledge, Shraddha, meaning faith and belief in her children and devotees, Bhakti, meaning devotion, Lakshmi, meaning prosperity, Trishna, meaning ability to notice the needs, Kshuddha, meaning fulfilling hunger and thirst, Tushti, meaning giver of all fulfillment, Nidra, meaning giver of restful sleep. Therefore, the prayers to the Adi Parashakti says all these qualities one by one in the Sanskrit shlokas. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shanti Rupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaha. And so on for all her hallmarks and traits. It means where the Devi is worshipped, all devatas like that place. However, if you are a female, You need to acquire all these divine traits for being respected as Shakti. And there is nothing wrong for men to get these divine qualities too. That combination of men and women can form a blessed society. And this is very possible in Bharat, the India. The spiritual explanation about Sri Yantra. The spiritual explanation about Sri Yantra is going inward through the layers and avaranas of Sri Yantra. Here, the assumption is the devotee or the sadhak is at the entrance of the Bhupura of Sri Yantra. He is embroiled in the day to day struggles and Maya. However, he is becoming aware of this state of his being. And he is feeling ready to take that plunge towards the spiritual journey inwards. This process is the reverse process of the previously discussed religious process. The devotee understands Maya, yet he has many desires to be fulfilled. Sri Yantra is unique. It is a motherly yantra. The mother accommodates all her children. She is the queen of all yantras. So she takes the sadhak step by step into the process until the sadhak feels one with the mother. This is a kind of hand-holding for the baby steps. Here, the desires don't disappear, but they become meaningless as he or she or the sadhak becomes a manifester himself or herself. This spiritual journey is truly beautiful. The path is awesome. The destination is the Bindu, the Sarva Anandamay Bindu, the ninth Avarana. When you reach that destination of Sarva Anandamaya state is not important. It may take years of sadhaka's life or many life cycles. The journey transforms the sadhak. The 9 circuits or avaranas are successive phases of becoming, of receiving her grace, Mahatripura Sundari's grace at every stage. The path of the goddess can be pretty quick, but it is filled with danger since it involves deconstructing oneself and then arriving at a completely new synthesis. The Bhupura is the first or the outermost avarana of the Sri Yantra. In the 3-dimensional yantra, it has 6 gates in 6 directions: east, west, north, and south, and top and bottom. The sadhak can enter Bhupura from any one of these gates. There he surrenders his ego. The Sri Yantra is protected by many deities and Dwarapalas or direction protectors. They will do the first scrutiny. If the sadhak is sincere and is seriously seeking his spiritual growth, he will get through the first avarana, the Bhupura. He is getting pulled apart by the psychological forces that spring out of ego. The sadhak has desires and he knows it. This space is called Trailokya Mohan Yantra. Trai means 3. The sadhaka has physical, emotional, and spiritual desires. Until his desires are unequivocally fulfilled, he is not qualified for the next and inner avaranas. In the second avarana, he sees many forms of goddess Lakshmi. This is called Sarva Paripurak Yantra. As per his status and his wants, he prays to a certain Lakshmi Swarupa. There are 82 Lakshmi Swarupas here, represented symbolically by a spherical shell of 82 lotus flowers. In 2-dimensional Sri Chakra, this layer has 16 lotus petals or 16 lotus flowers. For practical purposes, I am using a cross-section of the sphere. When he feels accomplished in life, as all or many of his physical desires are fulfilled, he proceeds further. At this stage, though his material or physical desires are fulfilled, he still has doubts. He is emotionally desiring freedom but feels a bondage with things. This is called Sarva Sankshobhana Yantra. The third avarana, the Lakshmi Swarupas here help the sadhak to drop his confusions one by one. Here the sadhak shades his or her ego by allowing the Devis to take care of him or her and allowing themselves to feel safe, just like a baby completely trusting her mother. The third avarana, Lakshmi Swarupa Devis, who represent various actions as well as non actions. Here involves the emotional acceptance and rejection, attachments and detachments. There is an agitation. It is called Sarva Sankshobhan Yantra. Sankshobhan means mental agitation. The first three avaranas represent Srishti or extension of sadhaka's individual self creation, his extended creation. At this stage, he feels physically and emotionally fulfilled. As he furthers his journey, he is getting ready for renouncement. The fourth avarana is the outer set of 26 pyramids. In two dimensions, there are 14 triangles. This is also the first layer of the inner complex chain of pyramids. After fulfilling his desires and overcoming the agitation of the mind, he is finally feeling good. There is a certain clarity of direction. He feels blessed. He is acknowledging his many blessings. He has a sense of gratitude for all his accomplishments, for all the people and the deities who made it happen so far. This is Sarva Saubhagya Dayak Yantra. Here his ego is considerably reduced, his many judgments dropping. His mind is finding ways to that inner joy. It is now easy for the sadhak to completely trust the blessings. The mind is calm in his many accomplishments. The judgments are reduced. He is aware of the remaining judgments. The fear is less. The negative emotions like envy are dropping. The fifth avarana consists of 18 pyramids. In two dimensions, there are 10 triangles. The sadhak is now coming to the self-realization state. He can profoundly call himself a sadhak. He is able to manifest materially and spiritually. So, this is called Sarva Sadhak Yantra. He is also spiritually quite accomplished. The sixth avarana again has the inner 18 pyramids. In two dimensions, there are inner 10 triangles. Here he starts looking inwards. His attachments are dissolving. He is now establishing himself in his spiritual journey. He overcomes his many fears. He feels very safe at the feet of the deities. He understands what can bind him to the outer physical world. He is ready to cut the cords which are still keeping him attached. This is not an easy stage. There are many obstacles. Yet he can courageously distance himself from the obstacles. He starts developing an awareness that he is Shiva, the consciousness. He is actually protected. This is Sarva Rakshaka Yantra. You know exactly how to surrender to the respective goddess, allowing yourself to be guided by your intuition, which actually comes from the higher powers. The seventh avarana is 8 triangles in 2 dimensions. In the 3-dimensional pyramid Sri Yantra, there are 14 pyramids. This is Sarva Roga Nivaran Yantra. The sadhak has developed highly positive vibrations. There is no scope for diseases. The diseases of body and mind disappear here. The sadhak is actually living in the 4th dimension. Living in the 4th dimension means the sadhak has access to his or her internal body organs and inner thoughts. He can heal himself as well as others. Here, all sadhaks overcome the most basic diseases of all, and that is the fleeting existence or the purposeless existence. The sadhak becomes creative in his expressions. He is now living purposefully, with joy, with peace, and without attachments. This is a blessed state of being. Eighth avarana is five pyramids inside the pyramid surrounding the bindu. In two dimensions, it is the central triangle surrounding the bindu. This is called Sarva Siddhiprada Yantra. At the state of the spiritual being the sadhak is now, it is the stage of being blessed by the siddhis. This avarana does that to the sadhak. He is bestowed by a siddhi or multiple siddhis. Siddhis are specialized powers that others don't have. This pyramid is separate. It does not intersect other pyramids. In two dimensions, it is a separate triangle that does not intersect with other triangles. Here, the sadhak is absolutely free from fears, judgments, egos, desires, agitation. He is light and is floating. He is established in total surrender. He is sure. He is full of consciousness. He has a creative, purpose-driven life. He is like the lotus. At peace, mind is joyous. The last avarana is Bindu. It is not really an avarana. It is a dimensionless point where the sadhaka's consciousness merges with the boundless energy. It is a constant blissful existence. It is in complete harmony with himself and with the Maya. It is called Sarva Anandamaya Yantra. This is the sanctum sanctorum of his temple. He is arrived. The goddess is nothing but the devotee's Anandamaya self, the constantly blissful self, the ultimate rest, the fearless, envyless, judgmentless, egoless, and detached Anandamaya self. The devatas are felt or visualized in sadhaka's heart and then drawn out through his or her breath and installed in the yantra. Ma Lalita Mahatripura Sundari is then worshipped as actually residing there at the Bindu. The true home of Devi is, however, in your heart. You identify yourself with the Devi and go through the worship guided by the symbolism. Whatever be the details, the symbolism involved is important in the external worship and more so in internal worship. However, here I just want to warn there is always a possibility that you may fail in your spiritual journey, or you may fall back at the entrance of the Bhupura where you started, and you may feel guilty again. You may be pulled back into all day-to-day struggles and negative emotions, and you may feel worthless again. Should you give up on the spiritual journey, the fruit you just experienced? No, you have to get up and restart your journey. Just like when we fall, we brush our clothes and start walking again. Maybe limping this time. But this truly is the spiritual journey it is about. No spiritual master has permanently reached there in one attempt. They all have fallen. They were determined about their spiritual journey. They got up and started again. This may happen multiple times. The least I would say is you have a spiritual tool as Sri Yantra. The three-dimensional Sri Yantra is accurately designed. It has an error of 0.001%. Understanding the Sri Yantra symbol is a complex task, but it is also deeply rewarding. It has brought me profound spiritual insights and awakenings. I actually see far more meaning in three-dimensional Sri Yantra than I can verbalize. I am actually seeing it in 4 dimensions. But at this point in time, I am not prepared. The Sri Yantra has opened up certain mental facilities for me. I am forever grateful to Ma Mahatripura Sundari for that. Its deep mathematical complexity has particularly drawn me to this symbol. As the days progressed, I got intuitive thoughts, specifically the 3 dimensional nature of Sri Chakra and many other mandalas from ancient Hindu literature. In the next part of this video, I will talk about mathematics of 3 dimensional Sri Yantra in a rational manner. May Ma Mahatripura Sundari be with you. Now, this is the mathematics. When I ask people if they see 81 pyramids in this structure, no one could visualize that. They think it is crazy. There are 81 pyramids standing tall and standing so perfectly, and they match their corresponding points on the 2 dimensional regular Sri Chakra. I will show you a few points on 2 dimensions and 3 dimensions simultaneously, and the method I used was how I identified the pyramids. We will now compare 2 dimensional Sri Chakra and 3 dimensional Sri Yantra. I am doing this layer by layer. As we move towards the inside layers, it gets tougher to see and pinpoint the pyramids. Let me start with the first layer of the central structure. It has 26 pyramids derived from 14 triangles of 2 dimensional Sri Chakra. Point P on the 3 dimension outer pyramid is equivalent to point P in 2 dimension for one of the triangles in the outer layers of 14 triangles. How do you know that point P is a correct point? In 3 dimension structure, point P has to satisfy the coplanarity and the collinearity conditions. Point P is simultaneously coplanar on multiple planes and also simultaneously collinear with multiple lines. This point P is coplanar in 3 different planes and collinear with 2 different lines in this layer. All the 26 pyramids were located using a similar method of checking. This is the method I followed for all the corresponding points in the other inside layers also. Well, coming back, in the first layer of the central structure there are 26 pyramids. Coming to the next layer, there are 18 pyramids derived from the 10 triangles. It gets a little more complicated here as they are a little inside the structure. The corresponding points of the pyramids equivalent to the triangles can be seen. As we go to the inner layers, the pyramid sizes become smaller and smaller. Then the third layer, that is still more inside. Here again, there is a challenge of finding 18 pyramids that match the 10 triangles in the 2 dimensional Sri Chakra. I rejoiced when I found them. You can see corresponding points as shown. Now that the pyramids are identified, you can see them easily. The fourth layer was the toughest one, especially the 2 small blue triangles that become 4 tiny pyramids in the 3 dimensions. Here I had to do quite a few coplanarity and collinearity checks. I went wrong here 8 times. Started and restarted from the very beginning. Along the way, I felt frustrated. The goddess revived me back from a frustrating desire to give up on the 3 dimensional Sri Yantra by giving me an exceptional idea. I was thoroughly motivated and I finally succeeded. So, this structure stands elegantly in the center of Sri Yantra, delicately balancing the 81 independent pyramids standing on the shoulder of other pyramids. There is nothing more satisfying than this vision. I am so glad that the intuitive thought that I started with culminated in its final destination of three dimensional pyramidal Sri Yantra. I hope I have done justice to the idea that I received and that I believed in to be genuinely true. However, there is so much more hidden information within this structure. Its intimate relationship with the golden ratio 1.618 is 1. I must mention here, anything visibly beautiful always has a connection with the golden ratio. Another important finding is there are 6 energy points, as I call them, within the three-dimensional Sri Yantra. The points are on the central line where matrikas are. Each point is a combination of a base center of one pyramid, the apex or the vertex of the second pyramid, and the centroid of the third pyramid. This feature is absent in two-dimensional Sri Chakra. I guess there is much hidden mystery to this three-dimensional Sri Yantra. Maybe it is connected with music frequencies. I am yet to know. The real mathematics of the three-dimensional Sri Yantra is about finding the 81 pyramids in the jungle of lines that appear when the 9 pyramids pass through each other. The design is perfected with 0.001% error. The pyramids neither crisscross nor hang abruptly. I have shown you how I got this level of accuracy by means of mathematical principles. I could take this challenge and solve the puzzle of 81 pyramids with the help of none less than Sri Yantra Swamini, Ma Lalita. The two-dimensional Sri Chakra itself is very complicated to draw. Most people do not get it right unless they use advanced geometrical tools. Obviously, three-dimensional Sri Yantra is 100 times more complicated. But once you get guidance and then put your efforts, you get it. I therefore confidently say that I have gotten the three-dimensional Sri Yantra correct with an insignificant error of merely 0.001%. Now I conclude my presentation. Conclusions. What has still kept me so engaged with Sri Yantra for the last 20 years? If I had to answer it in just one absolute quality, it is its creative possibility of programming for your requirements. How? This is a metaphysical yantra. When we say yantra, it is an extremely deep expression beyond human perceptions. I can say its loose meaning is an instrument, maybe just 5% match. Actually, there is no comparison between an instrument and the Sri Yantra. Still, I will draw some parallels between a physical instrument and this metaphysical yantra just for the sake of understanding. Like in the instrument, we have an outer casing that protects the instrument. We have a strongly guarded bhupura. Inside the casing of a mechanical instrument, we have a power supply that goes to different parts of the instrument. That makes the instrument ready to work for you. And then you switch on a particular function of the instrument to work for you. In Sri Yantra, we had 2 layers of lotus flowers counting 108 lotuses. Based on your individual circumstances and needs and wants, you decide what you want the Sri Yantra to do for you. Once you reach the actual mechanics of the innermost central part, there are literally infinite possibilities. It depends upon your imagination and creativity. The layers of the Sri Yantra are rotating. You may control their speeds and their directions. You can make the individual pyramids rotate in different directions and speeds. This is like programming this yantra individually. You may install your Ishtadevata in a pyramid and you may visualize it in your meditation. However, along the way, you must be very humble and dedicated and devoted. The Sri Yantra is highly programmable. Your simplicity, your creativity, and your imagination and your faith matters here. You cannot negatively program the Sri Yantra. It balances itself. I think this is huge. Another point many people ask me is, can we construct the Sri Yantra? The simple answer is no, you cannot. I elaborate this point. The smallest innermost pyramid is extremely tiny. As compared with its height, the central structure, that is the total height of the central structure, is 100 times more. If by chance someone wants to construct it, let me put the facts clearly. The innermost pyramid has to have a reasonable size, say 9 feet height. Then the height of the total central part becomes about 900 to 1000 feet tall. That is the size of twice the height of the Egyptian pyramids, 100-story building. If we include Bhupura, then it becomes 2500 feet height. Almost impossible, right? The structure has to stand on the pointed surface. 100-story building height on a point sounds impossible, right? Even if you plan to make a 3D printed model, the structure cannot be less than 2-story building height. This is due to the limitations of the wall thickness of the existing 3D printers and the materials used. So the point is that you cannot have it in a physical form. Then what? You can only visualize it. Watch it again and internalize it in your mind's eye. This visualization is powerful. I will stop here. I thank you for your patience. I would love to hear from the viewers. May the Sri Yantra bless you in your journey. You may check my other videos, especially the Hindi version of this video. Thanks again.